There are always movements. There are positive movements and there are negative movements, and I want to be one that is of a necessary evil, yet somewhat evil movement. There are so many people I see around me that have these stickers that are in support of autism, or people with merchandise, with shirts that are in support of autism. I always hear people talking positively about those with autism, and it fills me with the deepest rage, the deepest hatred in the bottom of my soul, and the most depraved, most violent, horrific part of my soul that wishes for death for everyone in this world. It's down there. It's down in the deepest depths of my corrupted black soul. And I can't stand it. I can't take it anymore. I can't take seeing it anymore. I can't take the positivity for autism. You have all these people who celebrate autism, all these people who speak positively of autism like it's some great thing, like it's okay to have it. And then at the same time society and governments around the world do nothing to help people with autism. There's no societies, no systems for people like us with autism, to function normally, to function in a way that would benefit us and society as well. And it fills me with the most incredible hatred you could not fathom. You could not fathom the level of hatred that I have for humanity because of the treatment of my people, and Christians, autistic people, and many other things that I am, and the behavior of humanity. And that's why I want to start a movement that is against autism. I want to defile and discredit. I want to corrupt the movements that are in support of people like me, my kind, autistic people. I want to spread awareness about the dangers of autism. I want to spread hate towards autism, because I want to do everything possible to legalize mass euthanasia, or the mass murder, the what's the word, an autism holocaust. It might sound insane, but I want to kickstart something that will lead to the Holocaust of autistic people, that will lead to every autistic man, woman, child, elder, baby being executed, as well as fetuses. That's the main thing that I want, is to prevent the birth of anyone with autism. Anybody that shows signs of autism, after they're born, because you can't actually detect autism in a fetus, as far as I'm aware, not with current science. It's too primitive. But I think that if a toddler or a young child is showing signs of autism, I think that they should be given an injection. Maybe like give them a gas mask so they pass out, then give them an injection that takes their life. And some might say that it's evil. It's evil to kill children, especially children with disabilities. But we have to suffer. You don't understand the suffering. You don't understand what it's like to exist in a world that wasn't built for you, that wasn't meant for you, in a world that does not support you in actuality. You hear all the time, all the fucking time, about all these different movements. Black Lives Matter supports black lives, black people. And at the same time, you see the mass incarceration and the mass shootings, all the killing of black people, and the imprisonment of black people, the jailing of black people, the persecution of black people. You hear about all the things going on. You see all the things going on, all the poverty of the black people, and yet you hear about, the BLM movement. There's all these movements that claim to support people when in actuality it's either against people in secrecy, or it doesn't do anything, because the whatever problems are so big. You can't cure autism. You can't quell it. You can't dumb autism down with medication or therapy, really. I mean, you can try to mask it, you can try to fit in, but if you have autism, there's no way to stop the anguish, to stop the suffering that comes with autism. And for that reason, I personally feel that we need to do everything in our power to begin the mass eradication of people with autism. I would volunteer. I would like to volunteer, but not first, because I would like to see, hundreds of millions of other people with autism being mass executed first before myself. Because it's been a dream of mine, for a long time, to see the autism holocaust. And some might say that that's absolutely, pure evil. That, people could call me a monster, and I agree. That's the reason why autism should be ended. Because of people like me. I'm pure evil. I'm an absolute monster. If somebody gave me the any nuclear arsenal, the first thing I would do is try to kill as many people as I possibly could with a nuclear arsenal, if I was given it. A bioweapon arsenal, nuclear arsenal, whatever. If I was given the chance, if I was a world leader, I would do everything in my power to kill as many people as I possibly could immediately, if given a leadership role. Now, I'm not stating that I'm violent now. I'm not saying that I would do anything like that right now. I'm only saying that I would do that if I was made a president, a world leader. Like, for instance, if I joined the United Nations, as the Antichrist, then I could make, whatever I want legal. If I wanted to kill 1 billion people in a day, I could do it. I can make it legal. I can make it so. I could do whatever the fuck I wanted. And, this is a good reason why, we should destroy, autism in our entire human genetic genome pool, if that makes sense. We need to eradicate autism from the gene pool completely. And Adam Lanza is a great example. He's the same as me. Adam Lanza and I are very similar. The only thing is I have more self-control, and I'm far more evil, and maybe not as intelligent as he is, but I have bigger, far more horrific plans. Like the Antichrist plans. And I want to join the United Nations and destroy the entire human race as the Antichrist, if the Antichrist isn't already here. um Adam Lanza, he was persecuted by his family, and the one or two friends the very few friends he had throughout his life. They sort of saw him as an anomaly. He was not treated well, and he could not treat himself well. He saw himself as an anomaly, and as inferior, and not worthy of love. He was very self-hating, self-destructive, as pretty much all autistic people are. And like all the autistic people around me that I've encountered, I always see them slitting their wrists and slitting their thighs, and talking about wanting to commit mass shootings and mass murder. It's all the same. Every autistic person deep down has this evil desire, or this dark self-destructive desire, or feeling, intention, whatever. But Adam Lanza was someone who could not feel. He could not physically feel. In pretty much every way. He could feel pressure, but he couldn't really feel pain physically. And emotionally, he only felt pain. And so it would explain why he committed mass murder, killing a bunch of young children. And If there was any reason why people with autism should not exist, it's for that reason. Autistic people, we can override our moral, empathetic nature very easily, very efficiently, unlike normal people. You wouldn't believe, you couldn't imagine what I was capable of. I could tell you, and you would be disgusted, horrified. But the things that I'm capable of, the things that I do to fit in, that I could override, would disgust you beyond comprehension. It would horrify you. And so, pretty much every autistic person, that's both low and high functioning, possesses that ability to do incredible evil, unlike anything you'd ever be capable of as a neurotypical person, if anyone neurotypical is listening to this. But I think I've proven my point here. I think I've made a pretty good case, for the eradication of autism. Anybody with autism. I would like to advocate for a cure, but I don't think the only way for someone with autism to be cured of it is by having their neurological structures destroyed. You literally have to destroy parts of the brain, in order to rid yourself of autism. And it's like, what part of the brain is autistic? What deep down on the nanoscopic level makes someone autistic? We don't understand it all. And so, advocating for a cure is pointless. Trying to find a cure is pointless. It's better just to execute small children that show signs of autism, um, and sterilize. If not execute, at least sterilize everyone in the world that has autism. I'd be the first to do this. I would, if I could get a million other people to do the same, I would do it first. I would do it first, just to show how fucking serious I am. As the potential antichrist. I'm a very fucking serious person, and when I say it, I mean it. So if I could get people to follow me and self-sterilizing, um, I'd be the first to do it. But I don't have a great following. I need more people, and I don't like fame. I don't love or like fame or attention too much. I need it. I need it in order to get my message out, in order for people to follow me so that I can achieve what I'm trying to achieve in this world while I still have time. Which, by the way, I don't have much time left. I have very little time left in this world. Very fucking little time left. And there's such big things that will take so long to achieve that I need getting done fucking soon. And so yeah, my anger and my rage just keeps increasing. I can't believe what I'm capable of, these days. I can't believe the thoughts and desires I have now compared to when I was a child. Autism really is a slippery, dark, fucked up slope. Autism is it's so fucking awful. And if you have a child with autism, it's best that you get them euthanized. It's for the best. Either sterilized or euthanized if you can do so legally. I have to obviously advise that you do it legally, but do whatever it takes. Take them to a country where it's legal to euthanize, sterilize people with disabilities. It's the only way. It's the only way to prevent their future suffering is by euthanizing them, or to prevent their future children from ever existing by obviously sterilizing them, spaying them, neutering them, whatever. It's the only way. There's no other option. It has to be done for the greater good. It's evil, but it's a necessary evil. Really awful, evil things have to be done sometimes. And some could say that God in the flood was evil, but nonetheless it had to be done. Humanity was getting too out of control. People were populating too much and sinning too much, doing evil too much. There was too much suffering in the world, and the flood had to be done. It had to be done, And that's why I believe if I were to euthanize or sterilize hundreds of millions of people or billions of people in this world, especially autistic people, which would be my first focus, my main focus, that's why it would not be evil. God did so. Why would me doing so be any worse or any better? It would be on the same level. I think that it wouldn't be wrong. Now, we as human beings aren't really supposed to have the right to kill. Because it's part of the Ten Commandments. If you This is for religious people, by the way, who are listening, religious people only, Christians only. But I think that I think that sterilization is something that we could do without really sinning. It says to be fruitful and multiply, but it says that it doesn't say that we have to do that. I don't think the Bible ever says that it's a sin not to have children, not to multiply. But it is best just not to do so, because if you look at God, the Father and the Son, God only had one son, only one child. There was only one offspring after God, and that was Jesus. And God doesn't have grandchildren, great grandchildren, because the further down the line you go, the more sin there is, the more corruption, the more evil and violence there is, and so therefore there has to be a stopping point. And the world is almost at its fullest in sin. The world is reaching the most sinful in its design that it can possibly get. And so that's another good reason for mass sterilization. If not mass execution, mass sterilization. But I don't know. I'll really have to think that one through. Because if there's no mass execution, then the suffering will just continue for billions of people for several decades until they get old and die, or are murdered, from drugs or violence. But the violence and the overdoses, all the shootings, it's only increasing. The possibilities of new wars increasing. And there's no hope for humanity. There truly is no hope. That my hope in humanity cannot be restored. It's not possible. As someone with an antichrist-like spirit, it cannot be changed. My soul cannot be influenced, changed, to follow another path. It cannot be done. It cannot be undone. It's not possible. My heart is a pure darkness, pure not pure evil, but it's pure darkness. That's the only word I can think of to describe it right now. But yeah, I cannot be changed. I cannot be influenced in a different way, to view humanity as changeable, as redeemable. I don't think so. I don't think so. Only through Christ, nothing else. There's no point to us continuing forward. So mass sterilization and mass execution is the only choice left. And so that's why someone listening or myself needs to become the head of the United Nations, or some world world government group or forum of some type. And make law globally for mass sterilization and mass execution. At least mass sterilization. The execution part, if not commanded by God, I guess you could say is obviously very sinful. So yeah, but I do think that mass sterilization is perhaps not a sin, as long as it's not forced upon someone else if they agree with it. And so the teachings in schools need to be changed. We need to change the ideologies, the social influences of people. Social structures need to change. The school systems need to change to promote not having children, to promote wearing protection, being sterilized, because there's too many people You know, the earth has plenty of space for people, plenty of resources, but the greed is too immense. The evil and the violence and the suffering is too immense. And so therefore the human population is too large. Even if there were 1,000 people on earth, I'd still be saying the same thing, advocating for less people being around. I'd still be saying the same thing even then. But it's way worse now. There's so many people. It's way worse, way worse than our ancestors ever could have imagined. All the rape and all the murder and all the theft and all the torture and all the war. It's just so fucking immense. You know, it has to stop at some point. So anyway, I'm gonna end the video here and see you in the next one.